Good kill. Hey, good kill.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're in the F-15. We're going to be taking on the F-14. This is a fight that I like to revisit every now and then. It's quite a fun fight. I like taking the F-15. In the past, the F-14 has been a very strong opponent for the F-15. However, the F-14 has received a little bit of nerfs to its flight model, especially the way that it rate fights. And so this fight should be a little bit different this time around. A little bit more favored towards the F-15 into the merge here. And you'll see that I actually have the G effects on this time. Shoot him in the face with a missile. We'll just keep this a gunfight. So theoretically, the F-15 should be superior in both the rate fight and the one circle fight. However, it's not to say that the Tomcat can't pose a threat to you if you were to make a mistake. The Tomcat at the end of the day is a very capable aircraft, especially in the hands of somebody who knows what they're doing. But theoretically, if you have pilots of equal skill, the F-15 should come out on top. And you can see here now we are in a two-circle nose-to-tail fight. This would be known as a rate fight, and I am trying to outrate him, pulling the nose around. He sees the nose pulling lead and he's going to try to get out of the way. Same thing here. He does a low jink. I'm going to try to stay with him. Got to manage that closure. Make sure we don't get too close so he can force an overshoot. Couple of shots there. Reducing speed, and he's in big trouble here at this point. I mean, not a whole lot he can do. There we go. I just let him cross into my nose that time. Splash one, Tomcat. So generally speaking, that's basically how you're going to want it to go. We've all seen that picture of the F-14 with the crosshair on top of the cockpit of the F-15. It is quite the impressive shot or dogfight. So we know it's capable. The F-14 can beat the F-15. Obviously, pilot skill matters, and also, you know, critical mistakes, human error, all that kind of stuff matters. The place where the F-14 is going to have a big advantage into the merge there is actually in the BVR fight, right up until the 1980s when the F-15 got the AMRAAM, because up until then it was stuck with the Sparrow and it couldn't engage multiple targets, but the F-14 could. Still stuck in this. It looks like he is trying to keep this somewhat one circle. So the F-14's ability to engage multiple targets with the Phoenix missile is one of the major advantages over the F-15 up until the AMRAAM, the introduction of the AMRAAM. At that point, it's just all F-15. We are here once again in a two-circle fight, nose to tail, or maybe not. Hit his wingtip there. He tried to force a one circle. And we'll transition back into the raid fight. And the F-14, again, pretty capable in the raid fight as well. Especially if he drops his flaps, then, you know, he becomes a real problem. Yeah, so you can see somewhat neutral through the raid fight. And I often see comments of people being like, so this is modern dogfighting, it's just flying circles. And to that I say, yeah, I mean, if you don't understand what you're looking at, you know, and you don't understand degrees a second, nose to tail fight, you know, who's better at what, who's keeping their sustained speeds better, you know, all this stuff, then yeah, to you it looks like two aircraft flying circles. You know, so still in the raid fight here. Once again, it's all about patience. However, I would say that I am very much winning at this point. Pulling him into the HUD here for a high aspect shot. Not quite sure how none of those hit him. Not quite sure at all. There we go. That's the best shot to take down a Tomcat. Oh, just go for the wing, man. Just take the wing out. Alright, good fight. So as we talked about in the last round, the advantage really just goes to the Tomcat when it comes to BVR, and that was only right up until the 1980s. Its ability to engage multiple targets. As soon as you get to the Mirage, the F-15 really has all of the advantages. You know, like I said, better in the one circle, better in the two circle. The F-15, surprisingly good in the one circle. You know, a lot of people, you ask them, how do you fight in the F-15? Their answer is always the raid fight, two circle, two circle. And that's great. You know, the F-15 for sure favors the two circle a lot of the time, but into the merge there. But sometimes, you know, you might want to try going one circle with the F-15. She can actually do it. She's actually really good at it. Especially if you have differential thrust. If you're good at that. I'm not good at that. I'm not going to risk that. But if you can do differential thrust, you can do some real crazy things in the F-15. You see that. I'm doing a terrible job of maintaining my energy here. And he's moving into a good position here. I'm way too fast. I think I was at like 600, 650 knots there, which is not good. That's how you make circles the size of Texas. And you don't want that. You know, these are all things you got to pay attention to the entire time. If you're really fast and you dump your nose aggressively, you know, either don't dump the nose or, you know, come back on the burner if you're going to do that. And you see, like, the raid fight, it's not dominated by one person in this fight, you know? It's always a tug of war. It's always a tug of war between who's going to get a little bit of the advantage here. And I really had to cash it in there, so I'm sitting at about 250 knots. And I wonder if he can tell how slow I am. You know, like that's not a good thing I did, but if he's not reading my energy state correctly, he's going to think that I just really outrated the crap out of him there. And that's just not true, right? I'm super slow. If he can maintain his speed, he should be okay. But, you know, sometimes when you do this, it gets in the guy's head, and he starts to panic a little. He goes, oh no, I lost the raid fight. He doesn't know if he just maintains his patience and continues with the raid fight, he'll be fine. However, I did outrate him at the end finally. And we just got to get our kill shot lined up here. We hit his engine there. And this is way too low to be getting that fancy. Yep, there you go. That's what happens there. Desperate attempt to stay alive. Can't blame him, although that did look like it hurt.